Good evening, viewers. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi, and on tonight's edition of Politics with KO, we're doing something different. In August of this year, I traveled to Maiduguri, the center of Boko Haram insurgency, to film a documentary, Coping with Boko Haram. We're going to show that documentary tonight. It's going to be about 50 minutes long. On the first part of the documentary, we're going to be discussing Maiduguri, and then the second part of the documentary, you're going to be seeing the condition of living of Nigeria's internally displaced persons. But let me mention something. There is a young man, DK. He's a Nigerian young artist from Maiduguri, and he wrote a song on Maiduguri. Sadly, the young man was killed. Amongst all the volunteers who contributed to this project free of cost, we want to say tonight's program is dedicated to DK, who sang the song Maiduguri, a soundtrack on this documentary, and to all the several victims of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Don't go away. This is Coping with Boko Haram, courtesy of Owner TV, Ben TV, and Politics with KO.
They wanna stop the movement, but they can't. The preacher is on his knees because of his belief, with a gun to his head. 1 moment later, he's dead. But do you think this will change a thing? I've got with me in the studio Fatima Abubakar. Fatima Abubakar lives in Maiduguri, Nigeria.
Maiduguri before the insurgency was a very quiet, peaceful, almost a sleepy town. Like everyone is tired of the insurgency. No one will actually join the enemy and say we will continue killing our people. People go to work. Children go to school despite the interrupted schooling. The images show like the checkpoints and, we've got all the children going back from
so these are women
to school. Yeah, these are school children. This is the police officer. And there's a narrow-minded approach towards what we're going through in the north. 2 weeks ago, somebody asked me if it rains in Maiduguri. So I found that very strange. And the media portrays an image of complete destruction.
2 months after Fatima appeared on the show, Kayode travelled to Nigeria with a camera and a microphone.
Which is the epicenter of the Boko Haram insurgency. Maiduguri is in Borno State, northeast Nigeria. That is where the Chibok girls were captured, and we have about 17 IDP camps, I've been told. So we're going to try and get access to as many camps as possible to try and see the condition of living there.
As well as touring the city, Kayode will meet local residents and ask them how they are coping with life, despite the security problems affecting their home area.
I've just had so many bomb blasts, enough to last one for a lifetime.
Some people are coming to the market daily.
You will also meet some locals who have volunteered to protect their city and its residents. Maiduguri is the largest city and capital of Borno State, which is one of Nigeria's frontline states bordering Cameroon, Niger and Chad. Kayode will take the flight from Abuja Airport in Nigeria's capital to the recently reopened Maiduguri International Airport. Because of the security situation, Kayode had to hide the camera on numerous occasions.
This is a whole railway.
The tour continues and Kayode arrives at an area known as the railway quarters. Being there brought a chill to the spines of the members of Kayode's tour party.
Yeah, it was long, I didn't come here. Look at the place, it had become almost non-existent.
This place?
But this is the debris of the mosque.
Oh, yeah.
This is the mosque.
This one?
Yes.
This one. Ah, okay, let's go down. This one, this particular one?
Mosque, and his house is here, and this is where they
used to, wow.
This place is the root of what has been a terrible part of modern Nigerian history.
This is the mosque.
That's the mosque. So this is the mosque where Mohammed Yusuf, the founder of Boko Haram, used to preach.
Mohammed Yusuf established his mosque at the railway quarters on a massive stretch of land given to him by his in-laws. He established his mosque after being banned from preaching at 2 different mosques in Maiduguri.
So I'm standing right here, and that debris you're seeing, that's the mosque where Mohammed Yusuf, the founder of Boko Haram, where he used to preach to the local people here. If you look across this area, the whole of this area was controlled by Mohammed Yusuf. And this gathering, this place, this large gathering that has been demarcated, this is where people used to come out. They would listen to Mohammed Yusuf preach. And when we look at that place, straight down is the mosque. And it's amazing how such a quiet, peaceful environment, you know, produce what is now a monster. Only God knows what was going on in his mind, Mohammed Yusuf, when he had this area in place. And the place has been destroyed now. So it's safe. But before now, people didn't venture to come into this area, but it's relatively safe. If we look straight down by that Nitel post, you see gunshots, massive gunshots at the wall.
The Islamist group Boko Haram, which is now waging armed attacks across Nigeria, parts of Chad and Cameroon, was founded by Mohammed Yusuf, seen here in mobile footage, when he was captured by the Nigerian army. Yusuf died in an alleged execution by police in public view outside police headquarters in Maiduguri. Yusuf was succeeded by Abubakar Shakur, who then waged an even deadlier campaign and abductions, including that of 276 schoolgirls from Chibok, from a government secondary school. The kidnap of the Chibok girls enhanced Boko Haram's notoriety, and as Fatima explained, it was a scary time for residents of Maiduguri.
After the kidnap, to be honest, in Chibok, we were afraid that it would metamorphosize and come back to Maiduguri, and to a point where they would kidnap girls in Maiduguri as well.
Driving through the streets of Maiduguri, Kaida's guides shed light onto how Boko Haram attacked the city. Most buildings are built with gaps in between them. This allowed the militants to sneak in from behind the structures for an ambush and then make a quick getaway, thereby making it look as though they had merged in with the locals. This obviously brought another problem for the residents, at the hands of the very people who are supposed to be protecting them.
So by the time they come out and attack, ambush,
After they finish their operation, they will just go through one of these.
the houses.
Yes. And when army comes, they will gather the entire people of that area.
Yes.
Everybody, they will remove it. Then they will take them to barracks. That's what escalates this problem.
And that's the end of the matter.
When an incident happened, if the security came, they will not even identify who. They will just get everybody along that are living within the environment and then take them away.
Okay.
We were living in fear of Boko Haram and the military too, because if you get in trouble with the Boko Haram, you're in trouble. If you get in trouble with the military, you're still in trouble, because to the military, everyone here is Boko Haram.
So some of these people have been left, have died in detention.
detention.
For no reason. There is no explanation as to. You cannot even come and bail them.
Wow.
They will just tell them that they are Boko Haram, while the actual Boko Haram may come from that side of the town.
Yeah.
Kaide asked the Attorney General of Borno State, Kakasheu Lawal, why this used to happen.
Boko Haram doesn't wear uniform. It was not on their face. You and I are the potential victim of Boko Haram, as well as that of the soldiers, because they don't know us. Once there is any atrocity, once the military arrives, they will deal with whosoever that is there.
Some will be investigated, some will not even be investigated. Some died on the process, not even some, most of them died on that process. This is how it continues. Then the youth volunteer then took up.
The residents decided to do something about this problem, and the Civilian Joint Task Force, JTF, was born.
Now, these boys grouped and then met the military themselves and started pointing the actual miscreants of Boko Haram by arresting them and handing over them to the military.
Kayode was lucky enough to meet one of the local commanders whose identity has to be hidden for security reasons.
Sojoji da police in suka zo su wayanda suka yi abin sun gudu in su ma suka zo kowa wanda aka samu a wajen za a zuba mar bindiga a kashe kuma wayanda muka san su ne a cikin gari a lokacin nan.
The civilian JTF is an unofficial trained armed movement made up of residents taking on Boko Haram in Maiduguri and its surroundings. Kayode questioned the legality of the task force.
The government of Borno State, being a responsive and responsible government, called a Security Council meeting, which comprises of the military, the police, and the SSS. Then a civilian JTF was recognized by the Security Council. It was sanctioned by the Security Council, and being a voluntary organization, they were registered under the relevant laws of Nigeria.
And look at those civilian JTF.
Besides taking on Boko Haram directly, the JTF secured checkpoints across Maiduguri and seemed to have the approval of locals.
You see, actually, Borno people are very resilient people, because in all the course of this crisis, like those of us that believe that yes, Borno must stay, Borno must come back to its normal position again, we believe that yes, we have to sit down and work things out. And as a result of this, some of us have lost their life, and thank God we are around to witness the transformation now, which the credit has to go to a certain clique of some youth in the society, which is popularly called the civilian JTF.
And right now, if insurgents infiltrate into Maiduguri, just with one look, they can identify them.
Wow.
Yeah, they do identify them instantly. At even checkpoints, they instantly identify them. And if he is being drilled, you come and confess that yes, it is Boko Haram.
What is the future like if this crisis is over? Now you have a lot of young people carrying arms and guns. Would you be able to take it from them and get them back into society? And do civilian JTF members, do they have any other job apart from this?
To wannan dama mun fara shi dan Allah ne da mu kare kasar mu ne. Dan a cikin Allah ya taimake mu wanda ma za su samu aiki yi suka samu, to wanda ba samu aiki yi ba mu dama abin muke so ta kare mai kasuwancin shi zai iya kasuwancin shi, wanda dama ya saba da kasuwancin shi ko karatu zai iya je makarantar shi.
And right now that I'm speaking to you, the government of Borno State has sent a bill to the House of Assembly for the creation of an agency that will take over the activities of this civilian JTF that is in preparation of post-insurgency program. We now have a scheme, that is Borno Youth Empowerment and Orientation Scheme, which takes charge of this issue of civilian JTF. Now we are giving it a legislative backing to create an agency that will have full support of the law and the backing, legislative backing, for us now carry out employment, training, discipline, dismissal, etc. as part of post-insurgency program.
Let me ask you, what does you think is the real cause of this problem? Why do we have Boko Haram? Is it some politicians behind it?
Boko Haram ba dan siyasa, akwai irin abin siyasa na akwai ba a sani ba, amma ni da yanda nake ganin Boko Haram muke fada da su da yanda muke haɗuwa da su, wanda shike zaka kashe dan uwansa ya mutu yana ganin shi ma zai sallaka ya zo ka kashe shi ya cire shi da aljanna da raki shi dama dan Allah yake abin sa. To anan ba zan yi an ce a'a dan siyasa ne wani dan ya samu kudi mai yawa zai bari ba.
Because civilian JTF are the sons of the soil, and they know who is Boko Haram and who is not.
The JTF are playing an important role in the fight against Boko Haram in the city of Maiduguri. They are defending their families, homes, city and their country.
This is my city where we cry it every day. Where mother see that it's been water to the face. She made her their dress and then go drill us in.
Kayode then took a stroll to meet the local residents and to try to get a sense of how the people of the city are getting back to normal life amidst the problems.
If you come in here around 1, you cannot even pass it. It will be blocked. It will be blocked.
Who said oh go? So somebody said, oh, guy. How are you?
No, I'm not sorry.
You speak
Rayuwar yau a Maiduguri dai to ba laifi yana tafiya daidai mai kyau sai dai kasuwan da gashi nan da ba sosai ba ne ba kamar na da yadda muna samu ba amma yanzu din komai ya yi kyau abinda muna so gwamnati ta taimaka mana a jara mana hanyar mu nan da rumfon mu wannan shine muna so a gyara mana.
And what would you like government to do for children and women?
Muna so yaran mu su je makaranta, iyaye kuma a nema musu sana'an da za su yi. Waɗansu ba su yin sana'a suna zaune a gida ba abun yi. Yara kuma suna gida ba makaranta. Ba kudin school fees kuma ya yawa da yawa.
Now the condition has improved and there's more security here. Life is okay. Things have calmed down now. So I think we've passed the unfortunate situation, and I hope that more people will come and see for themselves. We have been here all the while. Since 2009, we've been here and serving the people and community. So especially healthcare workers, if you can come, please do come. It's safe and it's okay for people to come around.
The most popular means of transport in the city are these yellow motorised tricycles. They are everywhere. Their popularity also means that they have been used for suicide bombing attacks by Boko Haram. It's staggering to hear the locals' attitude to these bombings.
The thing is moving all right, Gaskiya, alhamdulillah. These Boko Haram people come to kill people with bombs, and people are coming to the market daily. People are coming to the market, people are coming to their normal business and daily bread, and everything is moving all right, alhamdulillah.
Have you ever had a bomb blast experience?
Well, I've had several bomb blasts. I could not count them. I can't even differentiate bomb blast, JTF bomb blast from Boko Haram own. I've just had so many bomb blasts, enough to last one for a lifetime. A bomb will go off and 15 minutes later, you'll see the road busy as if nothing ever happened there. The people are getting too used to it. They are developing a strong shield to it. And even kids are now not so much afraid of bomb blast and gunshot, which is very, very worrisome.
CNN will come here, BBC will come here, they won't reach all this.
The army will tell them not to come here now. It's not safe, bomb will go.
There has been controversy that civilian JTF, they've also been doing extrajudicial killings, and you also pick innocent people too. How true is that?
Wannan an faɗa ne, mu Boko Haram ne muke kamawa, mun kama ba mu ga kashi muna kashewa ba, sai mun mika military, sai mun tabbata Boko Haram ne za mu mika sojoji su suke kashewa, Boko za su je su aje su kashe wannan tsakanin su ne, amma mu sai mun tabbata wannan mun kama Boko Haram ne, ko a cikin guda 10 suke, amma 2 ne muka samu ga kama, muka dole su muka dan ji musu cewa haka dai kadan sai su fara inda location na wayan su wanda suke, sai mu kama mu mika military.
Well, international media, I think, is only good in making propaganda, and they are not good in visiting the real place to ascertain things for themselves. You took your time to be here. Now you've seen how these boys are wonderfully performing their responsibility in the society. Now, I want to first and foremost debunk the rumor that these boys are committing atrocities. Rather, we have to commend them for doing a job well done for their fatherland. Now, if you look at it, in some quarters, there were allegations that these boys are underage. I want to assure you that on our nominal role and the profiling we had on this issue of civilian JTF, we have none of them less than 18 years of age. We did this thing in collaboration with the military authorities and not on our own, and that we divided them into sectors. They have their own command, they have their own discipline, as opposed to if they have any matter concerning or an issue that has trampled upon the right of an individual, not with them themselves, the police normally try it, and they are not above the law.
So if they've done anything wrong, the police will take charge?
Why not? Okay. We hand them over to police where we felt it is within the purview of the police to now investigate and then even prosecute them. We hand them over to them because nobody is above the law in Nigeria.
After a long day driving around the city of Maiduguri, it was back to the hotel for Kayode.
It's been an interesting drive around the town. There's no sense of insecurity. People are going about their normal business, but you can feel the tension. I couldn't use a big camera. I had to use a mobile phone to do most of the recording. The interesting thing about Maiduguri is the sense of collective responsibility in terms of people coming together and trying to live a normal life. Tomorrow, I intend to go around the IDP camps to see the condition of living, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. Nice. Viewers, that's the first part of our documentary, Coping with Boko Haram. But I've got sad news for you, just to highlight how important this topic is. News just coming in shows that there's been multiple bomb blasts in Maiduguri as we speak today. Report says that several blasts occurred at the Bulukuntu Dala area of Maiduguri between 7:27 and 7:31 p.m. That's the breaking news coming out of Maiduguri, and that is just highlighted this. Look, something needs to be done. But let's quickly go straight to the second part of this documentary that's going to focus on internally displaced persons, the direct victims of Boko Haram. And should we say our hearts and minds are with the people of Maiduguri and not East Nigeria? And we do hope that even as we celebrate 55 years of Nigeria's independence, don't let us pretend that things are going on well. Things are not. People are dying. And the bomb blast today is an indication that all is not well. So I'm going to sign out, but don't go away. The second part of the documentary is coming your way shortly.
Federal Training Center.
Okay, it's converted to...
After touring the city of Maiduguri, Kayode visited the Dalori IDP camp. IDP stands for Internally Displaced Persons. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, in collaboration with the country's National Emergency Management Agency, began the displacement tracking matrix to collect accurate data on the levels of displacement. This data is useful in providing support to the affected individuals. As of June 2015, 95% of IDPs were because of the Boko Haram insurgency, and in Borno State, there are just over 1 million individuals displaced.
We're here in Dalori camp, Maiduguri, and I've been made to understand that this is the last, the most recent camp. We've got almost 17,000 internally displaced persons in this camp in Maiduguri.
60% of IDPs are sheltered in schools, 29% in government buildings, whilst the remainder use community centres and tents, which are self-made or donated by aid agencies. Most of them do not have access to electricity or cooking facilities.
This is a number. Each household has got a number for their household. So this is number 573. If you can see, people sleep on the floor. We're hoping government will make their life better by at least let us have security.
Despite the presence of on-site security, incidents have still been reported. The most common types are theft and friction amongst site residents. There have also been incidents of gender-based violence, including sexual abuse.
So like there's this high rate of rape cases in the camps. There's supposed to be like a women's hostel and a men's hostel, not like a mixed room anyhow.
Some of the IDP camps have mechanisms in place for the survivors of gender-based violence.
New people just arrived the camp and they are building up this structure, putting up this structure for the new entrance. I've been told by one of the officials here that they receive people every single day. And if we move closer here, you see them dig way down on the floor. They dig just to put up this structure in place. And when they finish this structure, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get a new home for new IDPs that are coming into the camp. The emphasis I will make is we need to support them. So right now we have almost 19,000 people. So imagine if the insurgency doesn't stop, this place will be overwhelmed. And this is about now there's something interesting. There are some children singing. What is the meaning of the song?
I have this video.
Okay, thank you. So this is how they keep them happy, right? So what happened there is that children, to keep their life happy, every day they organize themselves, organize songs. They go around.
Back to peace.
What they are saying is that the song means we've left Burma, we've come down to peace. So the peace is the peace of this IDP camp where workers, volunteers are doing all their possible best to try and make them quite happy. So, well, I had fun there. I danced, I jumped, and for a moment I forgot the challenges, and I'm quite happy that even with the means of not having a lot, they still try to make the best out of life. That's a lesson to so those of you sitting on Twitter thinking life is all about just dancing in Abuja. There are challenges here that needs to be addressed for our people.
The children at the Lorry camp also attend school. Kayode caught them queuing for lunch, which was provided by staff from a non-governmental organisation called Save the Children. The NGOs are overwhelmed by the large number of new arrivals and quickly run out of supplies. At the time of filming, this school had 3,700 children using just 4 classrooms.
If you ask me, really, this is not good enough. We need to support NEMA, support all the agencies that are working here day in, day out, trying to help and support this organization. It's important that people leave their homes, donate to the efforts of not just the government but the people of Borno State, because whatever happens in Borno affects the whole of Nigeria, and we're just happy that we're here to see things for ourselves.
Kayode took time to have a quick read of a young boy called Yamak Abubakar.
This is a sign of respect in some tribes.
Yamak is doing exactly what the Boko Haram murderous insurgency is against, trying to have an education and reading modern texts.
Okay, now I'm just speaking to this young man now who says he wants to go to school so that he can work for the government, you know, and these are the kind of ambition these young children have, and we just have to do everything we can, you know, for these children as a people, you know, as a country, irrespective of where we come from. We need whatever it takes to work with the people, NEMA, all the organizations that are working together to make sure that the life of these IDPs get better. So my guy just told me that the people we just you saw the woman I was tasting this food from. They're actually from Sambisa. These are the people that were liberated from Sambisa area, and they brought them to this Sambisa forest. They brought them to this camp.
It's just like 30 minutes drive from the Dalori camp you were at. It's not a faraway place. Sambisa is close. It's between Konduga and Maiduguri, because it was a park. Before we used to go there at weekends. Me, that's supposed to be the first place to be raided, because if like there's a saying that says if you kill the snake and you don't cut the head. So Sambisa is like the head of Boko Haram. If they get attacked from other places, they'll just run there and hide there, and they know that it's a place. It's like almost like a no-go area, and I don't know why it's that way. So one of the major solutions is that Sambisa needs to be raided.
During a tour of the camp's clinic, it is apparent that the conditions are less than ideal and staff shortages are at critical levels due to security concerns. The remaining medical staff deal with a lot of medical challenges.
A lot of these victims have lost their husbands. They've seen their husbands killed, their sons, and others have lost parents, and so the loss of loved ones has led to a lot of cases of hypertension, post-traumatic stress disorder. And you see, these victims, some of them have no caregivers. They've lost the parents, so a lot of women, young women, are exposed to sexual assault and sexual abuse, and cases of teenage pregnancies has increased.
Kayode managed to speak to the clinic director at Dalori camp, who did not want to be on camera.
When we started assisting these camps, you can see how terrible that situation was. But now, I have the picture from the beginning. Now
things are getting better.
I know of a time when about 8 people died in this camp in a day.
8 a day?
Yeah, 8 people. We have about 28 women that newly gave birth to children, and they are all having twins. I have the picture. Twins, all of them 28. Wow. Now, a mother that is going to feed a twins, what has she in her system that she will feed twins? She herself, she doesn't have anything. So that is the reason why we established this.
The IDPs are people that were in their own residential areas before, and they had some medical personnel taking care of them. Now they've all been displaced, so they are now an additional burden to what was existing in Maiduguri. Most of the IDPs have left their places and have come to Maiduguri, and the facility we have, the doctors, the nurses and other healthcare workers are meant for Maiduguri, and now catering for all these local governments that have been displaced.
So there's huge pressure on them.
There is huge pressure.
Before leaving the clinic, Kayode gave away 3 teddy bears to some lucky young girls, a small comfort in the tough lives of these children. Back in the car park, Kayode also had a word with a Nigerian soldier who also did not want to be on camera.
Thank you very much for your support, and especially for your own commitment, personal commitment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother.
If we don't plan for these children, we're finished
in the future
as a country. And I said the solution is to get them permanent to where they belong. Because the longer we have camps, the longer our problem continues. The problem they have in South Sudan today was the fact that South Sudan accepted camps as a permanent solution to their issues. Today, those camps is where the rebel groups go and pick children. The rebels will come, they will give them, maybe the children they've not seen milk for 2 months. Just even 1 tin milk is enough to lure them.
At the end of his short visit to Dalori camp, Kayode had a small gift for some of the children.
What I did was that I woke my children up and said to them that there are people like you who need these clothes more than you do. And what do you think should happen? They went and brought their own clothes and their shoes, you know. The permanent solution is that these people will return to their community. They will work very hard for themselves. When I was going around, I saw people already trading by themselves. They are trying to make a life out of what they have here, you know. So hopefully people who saw me coming here will know that they can also come and assist the job the state government is doing, the federal government and the agencies.
Thank you very much. This thing that you are calling it a small is not a small. We really appreciate it, and not just this thing that you brought here, the heart, because you really feel that really there are some people who are suffering here. Yes. You want to help them, so we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
With that, Kayode headed to Maiduguri Airport, back to Abuja, Nigeria's capital city.
So we've come to the third and final day of our journey to Maiduguri. Visited the IDP camps, visited, gone around the town to see what's happening. I had a conversation with the civilian JTF, with the Attorney General of Borno State and Commissioner, and it's quite difficult to actually put a sense into what's going on around here. The people seem to persevere and want to get on with their lives despite all the attacks, all the bomb blasts and what have you. And there seems to be a kind of determination to live, you know. The strong points from this visit is the fact that if Nigeria should continue to keep these camps for as long as 2 years, it's serious implications for Nigeria. There should be an urgent need to relocate people back to their communities so that you would have young children move away from the conditions they find themselves. And that's it. It's been quite an experience visiting Maiduguri.
Next stop, an IDP camp in Abuja. Just before entering the camp, Kayode meets some of the residents, including Sarah Yusuf, who made an extra long journey to this camp when she was pregnant with the baby she has on her back.
Daga Goza zuwa Cameroon. Daga Cameroon kuma zuwa Mubi. Daga Mubi sai muka samu hanyar da muka shiga Abuja. Shine muka zo muka tarar da mutane, shine muka hada kai tare da su muka zo na.
Even among the people, the following generation that we are suffering, because some of us are from Maiduguri, that they have all this Boko Haram. Yes. Some of us from Plateau, some of us from Kaduna, yes, and Bauchi. So all of us were involved on those crises and other things that happen. So that's why, as we are living here, we are not happy.
And if you just look around you, if you look around, there are buildings all over the place. There are new multi-billion dollar buildings, I would say, being constructed. Look, right behind me, there's another building being constructed. There's so much wealth in Abuja, so much things going on. But not a lot of people are aware that we have fellow Nigerians who are suffering, you know, who need help. And I think we'll be going to the camp now, right? So we're on our way to the camp. Okay, the Skill Acquisition Center.
And this is also the place where I do most of my counseling.
saduwa da su kan muka sadu da su sun kashe mijin kanwata ma a gaban mu cire ma yaro na mabarko ma a goyo sun tube ni tsarara ma a gaban su suka bar mu akwai yadda za a iya mayar da mu kaman gari ya jaru muna so mu koma gari ba kam mini daɗi zama ba numa ana yi ba ba aiki kana yi ba kana zaman banza me amfani shi.
Now, you see this land, as Dorothy was saying, if you look at this where we have these IDPs are actually private properties, you know, where people have taken over and made homes. So let's go.
There is no information on whether the land is donated or if someone pays rent for it.
I was a child, I've been shouting up Nepa.
This is the women leader.
Oh, so no, sir.
Kayode then met the women's leader at the Abuja camp who had a harrowing story to tell.
Wanda suka zo suka fara harba bindiga sai suka je kan wani gidan an garinmu mai kudi akan a can suka fara harbawa sai kamin mu hankara muna neman hanyar fita mun gan su gaba ɗaya sun zagaye gari sai suka je kan church kamin mu yi ya ce mu neman hanyar fita mun gan su sun sa wuta akan church mun ga wuta kawai ya tashi akan church sai mun ce ai wannan abin ashe ya zo da niyya ne fa maza kuma lokacin dama maza ko yana zama da tsoro maza dama suna kwana a waje to maza kuma da suka ji harbin bindiga maza sun bar mu mata da yara kawai maza sun gudu abin su zuwa dutse sun bar mu mata da yara to mu kuma da muka gan wuta yana cin church mu za a zo a kukona mu duka mu mun ce kowa ya fara neman hanya to ni kuma hanyar mu dab da kwalta ne muna bakin hanyar dab zaka tsallaka ta nan kwalta zaka je ta can kwalta ba inda zan iya fita sai na bude kofa na ce to bari in bi ta kofa din kawai din zan tsallaka katanga na ce kar su doke ni da bindiga sai na bude kofa na yi karfin hali cewa in fita na daga yaro nan lokacin ita karama ne sai na sa wancan babba a baya yara na suna bi na baya da muna fita kofa sai mun gansu suna tsaye da bindiga sai sun ce madam aina zaki je na ce zan fita sai sun ce ki koma gida ga jinjire wurin ki koma gida su kuma basu gan yara na a baya na ba sai na sake rufe kofa muka kwana cikin gidan kawai muna jin bindiga ne mene ina ta leka su kofa jiki na gaba daya ranzana cewa za su zo su kona mu gida kuma duk bazan yan tsallaka katangan mu yana nan da fadi bazan yan hau ba in ni na hau yara na ba za su yi su hau ba sai suka fara kone-kone gidaje wanda mai kyau a idonsu sai suka fara dudokawa suka yi kone-kone suka kashe muna mutane da mai gadi na church din suka kashe shi da baban wancan mutumin mai kudi nan sun kashe shi sai suka sake gasa shi har da mai gadi din ma sun kashe shi sun sake gasa shi.
Water flows into this place. Most times it is flooded.
So when there is rain?
When there is rain, the whole place is flooded.
Wow.
This is what they use for cover. And they have newborn babies, 2 months old, 3 months old.
Everything you're seeing now is a very improved version of what was obtainable here before, because now you can see boreholes. Before now, it was the central sewage system that they relied on to take a bath and all of that. And then early in the morning, you have hundreds of people trooping down to the place. The issues of sexual abuse and all of that, you know. But there's need for toilets. The sanitary conditions here are horrific. We just finished dealing with Ebola. Had it been Ebola came visiting to a place like this, I mean, Nigeria cannot escape it.
The Staff Cooperative of the Central Bank of Nigeria saw the needs of the IDPs and have been making a generous contribution ever since.
The central bank came with 2 of this, and later on they saw the need and the capacity, and they came with other 2, and then they were supplying water, filling these tanks every week with a water tanker. They also came with mattresses, they came with grains of rice, they came with beans, millet, clothing, buckets, and so many other things, and we came together and they were able to distribute that, and from then till now they've not stopped. In fact, they came with a stockload of medications for the children, precisely. And when they had those early challenges of pneumonia, catarrh and everything, those very medications actually helped.
This is an effort of individuals within the central bank. This is not Central Bank of Nigeria officials. These are very good-minded individuals within the central bank who came together, the cooperative society. They are supplying water, they put medical needs. But we can do much more better as far as I'm concerned. This is Abuja. This is not some odd village in Gombe. This is Abuja. This is the seat of government. This is where when you visit, you say this is the most immaculate city in the world, in Africa. You see beautiful houses. It's amazing. Estates keep creeping up, but right here, within those riches, we have communities like this. We have young people who more or less don't even understand what they are, what future that Nigeria has got for them. So on that note, we would hope that government will see this and will be able to do something.
Kayode put some of the concerns of the IDPs, staff at the camps, and his own to Femi Adesina, Special Advisor on Media to Nigerian President Buhari.
He feels very distressed. There was a day that he was at a security briefing, and when they were talking about those IDPs and the conditions of the victims of Boko Haram and all that, you could see how he was reacting. My heart went out to him. I felt for him because you could see that he was touched to the point of almost shaking physically, and that shows you that we have a president that is concerned, that cares. When we were in the United States in July, and the World Bank disclosed that it will give about $2.1 million to Nigeria as a soft loan to rebuild the Northeast. The president said the first priority should be resettling the IDPs from that money when it comes. So he's quite concerned about them. He's aware. When we went to Cameroon, he spoke with the president of Cameroon about the IDPs too. He's quite concerned about them. And yes, you said things were getting better when you went to Maiduguri. It will get a lot better.
Since filming, there have been some developments at Dalori camp. They have now started building mobile schools. Set up by the Vice President of Nigeria started a mapping process for all IDPs in Nigeria and an increased effort to tackle the insurgency in northeast Nigeria. However, more displaced persons continue to turn up in camps across Nigeria.
1, 2, 3, go! Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our father's land with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with all our might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Yes, clap for us. Oh yeah, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to the honor and glory. So help me God.
Well, viewers, that's the end of the documentary, Coping with Boko Haram. We do hope that you're taking one or two messages home. The important lesson there is we must face the reality of what is happening to us as a people. And we want to thank everyone who volunteered to make this possible. This is a self-sponsored project by volunteers who work free of charge. Honor Africa did the editing free of cost for us. And of course, we also want to say that Nigeria can be greater than what it is now. And we believe things can definitely be better. And of course, after the production, we contacted the office of the Vice President, and as you saw, they did started changing things in Dalori camp. But we want this to be replicated across the camps, across Nigeria. This is very important. But most importantly, like we did say in the documentary, we need to make those communities safe for people to go back home. Did you notice that almost everybody we spoke with on the program said we want to go back home to work, we want to go back home to farm, we just don't want to be beggars in our own country. And what can we do as a country as big as Nigeria? We can do better for our people, for our community. Let's say special thanks to Ben TV for giving us this platform. Our last show is on the 29th of October, 2015. Don't miss it. It's still Politics with KO. And we're going to go over again and just say to you that we do not do this to bring the negative side of Nigeria. We do this to make Nigeria move forward and learn from our mistakes. Well, I'll see you next Thursday for another live program. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi. Goodbye and God bless. And on Politics with KO, what we try and do is to go beyond the confusion and get something really meaningful. Part of the confusion that we have in Lagos is also the political situation. And on Politics with KO, what we try and do is to go beyond the confusion and get